Everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for kind of a wacky Wednesday here. I was reading through the comments last week, and somebody has been counting the days since the last time that we played as a regular Forgotten, and I was like, you know what? It has been quite a while since we played as regular Forgotten, so why not do it on a Wednesday here? We are still waiting for another video to cross 3,000 likes, so if you want to support the channel and also get the like streak counter back so we can make our way towards that final push for the first Rebirth reaction video, then make sure you click the like button on this video and go check out the other videos from this past week. We have a couple of them that are very close to 3K, and thank you again, everyone who does that. I do appreciate it. Here's your artwork of the day submitted here by Was in Time. Title thread was just simply Sinvicta and Friends, and yeah, I mean, I guess D Bizzle's on there. Look, you can't be a friend and also be a coach, all right? Like, it's fine. It's fine that he wants to be a big-time player, but first and foremost, you gotta perform. You gotta make those big-time plays before I'll be your friend, all right? Let's hop on in here and play the random, or the, not random, but the regular Forgotten. Yeah. CJ's gonna be Mike Romeo Whiskey 8, Romeo Hotel Papa Mike. So I've gone on record saying that the Forgotten is not one of my very favorite characters. Before the advent of tainted characters, he was definitely my least favorite character, I would say. Which is not necessarily to say that he's bad, of course, but you do have to be very cautious with him, especially if you do decide to play him as a melee character. Now, there's two forms to the Forgotten, since I realize that some of you may not have ever even seen this character before on my channel. It's been a long time. So the first one, of course, is the Forgotten, the form that you see right here. He starts out with 2 bone hearts for HP, and he's got the bone, and yeah, he can swing it, he can throw it, he can do all kinds of crazy stuff. He does have excellent damage scaling with the melee attack. And then the second form of the Forgotten is the Soul, which is this form here that you see, this flying sort of spectral tier lost-like form. Now, the reason why the Soul is interesting, because it essentially creates this opportunity for you to never ever take red heart damage ever. Now, you can use that in a couple ways. The biggest being is that obviously you want to be saving your bone hearts, since the Forgotten can only get bone hearts as HP. That's a very good way to make sure that A, you don't lose any HP ever, and B, make sure that you don't lose any devil deals ever. One thing I will say about the Forgotten is I do not proclaim to be an expert at the Forgotten. For those of you who've been watching my channel long enough, you will know that at one time, a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, your boy used to race this guy named Mathis Games. We used to do Isaac races against each other, and I never beat him. Ever. Ever. We always raced the Forgotten, and it was horrible. Mathis, like, was just, he was some kind of unleveled god when it came to finding the right way to go. And of course, Sinvicta, this is before, really, this predates the Sinvicta goes in the wrong way every single time meme. But that was very, very apparent during those days. But suffice to say, the Forgotten is definitely not one of my least favorite characters anymore. I think that he's actually quite good for the start of any run. You do have to be careful, though, of course, with his HP. But obviously, there's benefits to having the melee character. Massive amounts of close quarter combat, massive amounts of damage that you're able to dish out, and again, the scaling on that is quite good. And on top of all that, it does the whole Spirit Sword thing, which was actually started by the Forgotten, not, like before Spirit Sword was even in the game, which is that you can simply swing and grab stuff with the bone. Anything the bone can touch, you can actually end up collecting it for Isaac. And of course, alternatively, if you need to fly somewhere, you can just simply do this and do that. There you go. Yeah, overall, I don't not like the Forgotten. He's just before we could really see the dangers of like other characters, specifically the tainted characters, he was like just my least favorite playstyle, just because it was a lot of micro, a lot of finicking that had to go on with the hey, look, we can actually bomb the donation machine now. A lot of micro, a lot of finicky nature that had to do with, you know, switching back and forth the characters. And it's not something that I'm just a huge fan of. But I've since come to terms with it. And I think that the Forgotten is actually quite capable of being extremely strong. Again, right out the gate. As you saw me there, I had to switch over to the soul in order to avoid losing that heart. And yes, you can go in and out of curse rooms for half price with the soul, or we could teleport out for free. In this case, when we have the moon card. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do it. Okay, so now here's the kicker. The soul and the forgotten are only locked to 6 HP, period. That is it. So you can only ever get 6 HP on the soul. You can only ever get 6 HP on the forgotten, and that is that. So you have to be very cautious when you come to devil deals if you do take devil deals. Generally speaking, you want to, especially since you're looking at getting some. You want to get some good damage scaling items very quickly. Devil deal is obviously the way to do it. You could split the items between the two, and it's not like a Lazarus situation where only one of them gets the benefit of the item that they pick up. It's both of them. I'll switch back off of Ragman here. So traditionally, what you would want to do is you basically want to almost always fight any boss, especially if you have full HP, as the soul, not as the forgotten, because remember, the forgotten has losable HP. The soul, I mean, yes, technically he has losable HP, but it's not as punishing to get hit for half of the soul heart than it is to lose, like, say, full red heart. Now we'll take it with the soul. We don't want to lose any red heart containers right now. And then we can go back and get that half soul heart, or we can get this full soul heart for basically half price. Actually, no, we can get the soul heart for full price, for no price, because we can switch back over here and then go grab that red heart in the other room. There we go. I think we'll wait on that. So that is the gist of the Forgotten, and so far we got a fairly strong start here. Has to be expected. And yes, I am back to having the honeys. Although I do like those Ricolas from the other day. I've been going through a lot of them. We're not going to play this game. We'll simply just outgun them here. There we go. So going on to last week's question of the episode, of course, that came in from the Tainted Keeper run, where we saw a huge amount of money being put into our donation machine. I simply asked, what would you rather have, Tech 1 or Tech 2? There's been a lot of tech questions lately with varying degrees of answers. But for the most part, a lot of people prefer Tech 1, although some of the answers on this thread were actually quite interesting. The most upvoted comment came in from Flying Ender, who simply said, again, Tech 1 for me is simply just because it doesn't suffer from the lower tiers rate, low damage as much as Tech 2. I love the Brimstone synergy. I think they may be slightly outdated there because obviously Tech 2 does not have a damage down anymore. They may not be playing on Repentance, so just keep that with a grain of salt. But yes, I personally would almost exclusively choose Tech 1 over Tech 2 in 100% of all cases. Let's stop taking damage here. I mean, Tech 2, it is good if you don't have anything else, but if given the choice, though, yeah, give me Tech 1 all day, every day, dog. Thank you very much to Flying Ender. The second most upvoted comment from last week's episode came in from, I'm going to say, William Wren 5977. I'm actually surprised the secret room's not there, especially with the presence of that previous wall that we just tried to bomb. Excuse me. Thank you. William Wren, who said, honestly, I see a tech item, I grab it. I don't even remember what they're called. And yeah, I mean, you could. There isn't really a bad tech item in there. The only one that really takes, I would say, just a little bit of thought. Just a little bit of thought is probably going to be Tech 0. But even then, I mean, there's no bad tech item. Maybe Tech X, I guess, if you really want to, if you want to get specific with it, just because like Tech X does override a couple of tier effects that you may not want to override. And boost our damage or our Devil Deal upgrade a little bit. Okay. I think we've lost 1.5 soul hearts and half of a red heart. Oh, we got it back. Okay. You need to be a little bit cautious because we did lose some movement speed there with the fat on mushroom. But again, we gained damage, and that's the important thing. Okay, so that heart container is actually full. And last but not least, from last week's question of the episode came in from I'm gonna say Ringding. Who said, Tech 2 all the way. I just love the consistency of the damage. The buff really made me adore this item again. And yeah, that was one of the more fringe cases talking about how they would prefer Tech 2 over Tech 1. But it is true. The unlimited range and the consistent range and damage that you have versus, like, you know, you are bound by a tier rate on Tech 1 is definitely something that warrants a little bit of discussion. Again, for me personally, I prefer Tech 1 over Tech 2. But hey, that's the reason why we like Isaac, because there's a lot of different opinions and a lot of different ways you can play it. We know hearts here. Now, there's not, at least we haven't seen anyway. We have not seen a sacrifice room yet. However, we do have this temperance machine. Okay, well, that's not enough. Now, we're not going to lose these hearts. Okay, we're down to 1 heart. We know that because Dark Princess Crown activated. It's down to 2. 1.5. 1. Half. 1.5. 2.5. 2. 1.5. 1. 1.5. And we're going to leave it there because we actually shouldn't have even gone that far. We should have kept those filled. Empress card, Tower card, Emperor card. Then what we can do is we can play the Judgment here. I mean, it's not a huge deal. Like, there's those other hearts over there that we can go grab. We have this Emperor card as well. Okay, so we can bomb our way into the Curse Room. Yeah, thank you everyone who participated in last week's question of the episode. And, of course, on every question of the episode as well. It's been doing well, just amazingly well. People supporting the channel, people checking out the comment section and participating and just creating good, fun discussion is what it's all about, and that's the whole point of that. So thank you, everybody. There we go. Wow, we actually lost more soul hearts than I realized because we just picked up a Hierophant card and another soul heart, so yeah, we must have been down a lot lower than I realized because maybe, well, I guess I did kind of forget the fact that we did take a Devil Deal and used our soul hearts instead of our red hearts, which is what you should be doing anyway, for the most part when it comes to the Forgotten. It's gonna be Fistula, so I'm just gonna do that. And then we're gonna stay on the regular Forgotten here, or the soul, I mean. There we go. Black Hole is actually doing a pretty good job at destroying everything so far. And yeah, we'll take Growth Hormone's going to go ahead and pop the Joker card, and he's sad because there's basically no reason for us to have the Sack Altar over Black Hole. And we'll go back and pick up our Emperor card, and you all know the score by now. Good. So we're still looking great here. Got plenty of money. We have plenty of pickups. We got plenty of everything. Okay, so based on... Ooh, that's so good. Based on the location of the Super Secret Room, we can assume, anyway, that the boss room is most likely going to be to the northwest. So, yeah, we're gonna be operating off of that assumption. Now, what can get you in trouble, and it's already happened a couple times on this episode, is walking up to things and meleeing them while you're walking forward. And that can lead you to basically running into things and also, of course, running into shots. So basically what I'm trying to say is don't do what I've been doing. That's the number one biggest reason why I lose HP on the Forgotten. So don't do that. Don't do what Sinvicta does. For most things, I would say. Let's stick with Black Hole. I mean, honestly, there's no reason for us to get rid of Black Hole. It's been doing well. We gotta check the bone there. Somehow that can't believe that champion still lived through that. Got ourselves a dice room here. It's gonna be a global de-sizzle. So if we find our item room, we'll be able to re-roll it. We have more keys than bombs, plus we also have a butt ton of money, so yeah. Let's go find our item room, which should be over here. Maybe. So you don't have to play super timid as the Forgotten. You want to be utilizing his melee attack a lot, but at the same time you want to be cautious. Remember, you only get 2 hits per heart container, and then that's it. Like, imagine, the best way I can describe playing the Forgotten, just imagine regular Isaac or Eden with regular old you can actually take Tapeworm here with regular old HP containers, but every time you get hit twice, you permanently lose that container. That's the level of caution that you need to exercise when you're playing this character as the Forgotten. Now, as the Soul, it's a little bit different, and that's the whole reason why the Soul is there, is so you don't have to play so recklessly with Bone Hearts if you choose to. But if your damage is high enough, then it's not really that big of a deal. The Demon Judgment there, which we may use, may not. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. We're gonna get Speedball, which is gonna give us 3 for 3 on Spun. So very early Spun here. So that's one of the earliest Spuns I can remember, honestly. Go ahead and do this the easy way. There we go. Oh, we have so much money thanks to Mom's Key. We can essentially get in and get out for free because the heart. Well, there we go. That just sealed the deal there. So another aspect. This is something I haven't talked about yet for the Forgotten. Another aspect is that the Forgotten's the Hollow Soul. Whenever you leave his body, that body right there, it turns into almost like a wall that will suck up and attract projectiles. So if you need it in a pinch, you can kind of use it sort of like a pseudo orbital in a way. Black Hole is just dominating right now. Take a Tears Up here. Tears Ups do affect the Forgotten, and yeah, we'll go ahead and take Maw of the Visizoid as well. So yeah, there's no. Well, I guess we can go back. Let's. I mean, we're not gonna make boss rush. Let's go back and use the 4 room and reroll King Baby real fast here. We can't get into the boss trap room because we wanted to lose all of our HP, which I don't. Now that we have Maw of the Void, the Forgotten ironically becomes a little bit more one-dimensional. Yeah. Take Humbling Bundle. We'll get this free. Well, half price anyway. Soul Heart. Essentially free. 3 cents. Come on now. We are looking mega strong. We are looking mega strong here going into the mid game. Maw of the Void, and if we can just get a little bit more HP, maybe a tier. I mean, we don't even need a Tears Up really. Like, we got 13.89 damage. We're good. Curse of Lost. Fortunately, it's going to undo our blue map status, but I think that's going to be. It's okay. And with the supercharged amount of damage that we've got with Maw of the Void, our attacks are going to be even more potent here. Just going to do that to get rid of the riffraff here. No problem at all. We don't need to use a key for this. See there, the Forgotten's body is completely immune to explosions. Welcome back, Little Monstro from yesterday. Wow, okay, wow. I think that was the fastest explosion, fastest spawn explosion I think I've seen in quite a while. So we're on an empty heart right now. We got to be careful with our bone hearts. Again, it's fortunate that at least if one loses HP, the other one can grab it. It's not like we have to be on the Forgotten in order to like recover our red hearts. You know, that would suck. That would be like a Lazarus type thing, and that would not be fun. We could get that golden poop there. We've already blown up our donation machine, so there's no real reason for excess here. I mean, there's literally no downside to getting that golden poop. Let's see what our item, what our shop has. Let's put it that way. Let's wait. Okay, BOGO bombs don't really matter because we already have Humbling Bundle, but I'm just gonna take them anyway. No tinted rock that I can see. There we go. Again, tons and tons of HP here. We're going to take the half price hit on the red hearts just because they're going to be a little bit easier to recover. They might be asking, how do tear effects or how do tears ups affect the bone? And it affects essentially how fast you can re-swing at something. So your swing speed is basically your tears rate as the Forgotten. I mean, you know, he's a fun character. Like he does switch things up. If you're looking for a character that has a little bit of danger, just because obviously you got to be careful with the bone hearts, but a lot of dynamic play style, then the Forgotten is going to be it, because you get to have the fun between switching back and forth between melee and flying. You know, you also get to kind of learn a little bit about prioritization for devil deals, and you know, it can be a fun teaching tool. Of course, the obvious question is going to be, what do you prefer, or who do you prefer, the Tainted Forgotten or regular Forgotten? And for me, I prefer Tainted Forgotten. I think that out of the box, he's just stronger in every way. Being able, he basically can do everything that the Forgotten can do, except not be bound by a chain. Like the chain that the ties that bind the soul here, because you essentially just play as the soul, and that's it. So, you know, being able to yeet the Forgotten is quite strong, and again, it operates totally independent of what your actual damage is. And that can be an appealing playstyle for some people. It is for me, I know that. Let's do this. Let's just make this easy. As of course, you know, the Diglett spawn underneath you. That's fine too. Check out the super secret room. We almost actually made boss rush, surprisingly. Go ahead and ignore that not great item. Oh my god. You got enough troll bombs there, BOGO bombs, or what? Lots of chests showing up, and I mean, I'm fine with it. be nice if they had some substance to them. We're getting a lot of soul hearts out of that, but I mean, like, I want some. Give me some stats. Give me some. How about a teleport? We haven't seen one of those yet. There's our Fool card. Unfortunately, we do not need it for this level, as we did not make boss rush. Charge up the bone here. Get a little bit of a range attack going. All right, so there is the entire map so far. As we are looking for our item room and shop, which undoubtedly at this point are going to be adjacent. Excuse me? I need to remind myself to go back and look at that. I need to see what hit me, because I didn't see anything. I'm just going to go ahead and use the Joker card now, and it's going to be the usual Krampus. Honestly, I'm gonna stick with the black hole. It's been doing well for us. So we are gonna successfully complete the Sinvicta full clear here, looking for the item room. Yeah, if that's the question that I'm asked, which do you prefer, the Tainted Forgotten or regular Forgotten? I think Tainted Forgotten wins. In an ironic twist of fate. And it's ironic because I didn't used to like the Forgotten. But Tainted Forgotten, now you got my attention now. We probably could go and play the Sacrifice Room. It'd be pretty tedious to do so, especially since, like, the damage that you incur off of the spikes do not get relegated to the nearest red heart. It goes on the bone heart first, and that's not great. I mean, I guess we can. There's no real reason to, like, we could look for a bone heart, I suppose, in there, but or maybe a couple eternal hearts. Go ahead and use Maw of the Void for this. It's gonna be a lot faster. I also just use, I think Black Hole would take care of all of this, but you know, get a couple extra bombs. Here we go. So you never need the Sun card whenever you just do full clears. That's right. Right, Sinvicta smart. Sinvicta smart. When you do a full clear, you always have mapping. Unless it's Curse of the Lost. And then, well... Hey, there we go. Ace of Diamonds. Don't really need that. We're not going to get rid of our Emperor card. Now, if the damage... And this is something that I think should change... Just for the Forgotten. I don't think this has changed for any other character but the Forgotten. For Sacrifice Room specifically, I think that all damage should go on Red Hearts first before Bone Hearts. That would make it pretty much an automatic... Yeah, we can go Lamb. Automatic play every single time. Again, damage scaling with Forgotten is truly amazing when it comes to the melee attack, and also we have Maw of the Void. Another thing to keep in mind here, this is another aspect about the soul that I did not talk about, is that the soul does have spectral tears. So if you find yourself in between a rock and a hard place, or if you just find yourself behind a rock, he can still shoot around it and through it, without you actually having to, like, physically go around the rock, which is kind of nice. Another thing to keep in mind there. So you're seeing how we're being tethered here to the Forgotten's body, the soul, and that's really the only downside to the Tainted Forgotten, or to regular Forgotten, is doing that. But it's, I mean, you understand... It's very, very super duper easy to just ignore, like, that chain. It's like after 1, maybe 2 minutes of play, you sort of understand the length of the chain before like you get to like the next floor. And we knew we were going to take a hit there, so that's the reason why I switched to the soul. Now this is where the Forgotten starts to kind of fade a little bit in terms of strength, and that is having to do with whenever you're talking about damage that takes full hearts off of you instead of 1 half heart, because then you have to, of course, start to worry about losing. It's one and done for your red hearts, so you got to be careful with those. As you see here, our base stats aren't great. And use the black hole against death here. We unfortunately we get a ball of bandages, and yeah. Devil Deals have not been strong on this run. Take a sip of water real quick here. Excuse me. Ready for that Air Up. That Air Up sponsorship. YouTube. It's so funny, like the first time I saw Air Up, I was actually buying a birthday present for Mama Victa this year. And that was before they started doing any marketing on YouTube. A friend of mine, she had told me about Air Up, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty neat. And I looked him up, and so I bought Mama Victa one, and she likes it. Now, I've not personally ever used Air Up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, it's those water bottles that put like flavor rings on them, and it influences the taste of the water by way of smell instead of like, you know, taste. Although, I mean, technically speaking, like, you know, if you smelling is essentially tasting. Not sure what's going on here, but I don't like it. A glowing hourglass is something that I would take on the Forgotten here, and we are going to get it. We say thank you for your services, Black Hole. I appreciate everything that you've done. You did an excellent job in the early game and mid game for us. That was the Eternal D6, which we actually don't want, and I'm not going to take. So now, if we end up getting an item pedestal in here, we can use the Eternal D6 on it. Didn't. You know, there's a soul heart there. I don't know. We are simply done with you, Black Hole. Thank you very much again. To exercise our right to bomb our way through stuff. Let's do this a smart way. Let's not do this the hard way. It's an impressive amount of front-loaded damage we get if we connect with the little monstrous shots and also the bone, and then Maw of the Void too. You know, a little bit of micro there just to get over that rock. Isaac's Fork is actually not terrible. I'm going to go ahead and wait on that. We might as well just try to get our final Devil Deal here. Unlikely, but you never know. And so I'm going to show you a trick with the regular Forgotten. Watch the shots there. As you can see, they just go straight for the body. And you can just leave the Forgotten there pretty much the entire time. You see how the shots are curving towards the Forgotten's body? You can totally use that as defense. And it is a very effective defense against projectile-based bosses like It Lives or Mom's Heart. I mean, it attracts them very, very strongly. And essentially will always keep you safe behind there. What in the world is this room? All right, Stanley, gonna be honest. You kind of bummed me out here in the last couple of runs, but no, we need you to step it up. When you have to give a pep talk to Satan, you know you're playing The Binding of Isaac. You need to put that on a t-shirt. That'd be my next shirt. I mean, technically speaking, I do have shirts. I'm going to actually start utilizing the Sinvicta.tv website more. So far, those of you who don't watch Twitch or follow me on Twitter, you probably didn't know. But I actually have set up a website, Sinvicta.tv. It's a URL that I've had for a while now. And I'm only just now starting to use it for stuff. And right now, it's the home of my Pokemon Breaks website, where you can order packs or boxes and that sort of thing. And then I open stuff for you on Twitch, which is a lot of fun. I also sell like graded cards and stuff on there as well. But if you're not into Pokemon, I am planning on putting other things on there, like Sinvicta merchandise, and being totally independent from Designed by Humans, who is a company I'm just not a fan of. They have decent quality, but I just don't like them. I don't want to go into detail because I know people that work there, but yeah, I'm just not a fan. Again, utilizing the Forgotten's body here to keep us safe from projectiles. I'm okay with losing one soul heart. If we had lost 2, I would have undid the damage. We can go back and fill the red heart. Oh, never mind. We can just do it there. So, but yeah, I'll be using that website for Sinvicta merch and that sort of thing in the future, including like stuff for the band and everything too. So, on a floor here, and Eye of Belial, Abba Dabba Ding Dong is essentially free. Oh, it takes away your... Oh, I did not know it takes away the red hearts of the Forgotten. Interesting. Very interesting. I did not know that. Oh, whatever. So thank you for watching, everybody. Super good run here. And hopefully this will satisfy Forgotten Guy's countdown. Now, I don't know what the final count was on that, but it's been quite a while, I know, since we played as the regular Forgotten. I think not since the random run day, the end of random run day, where we were using the website to randomize stuff. I think that was the last time we actually played as him, so it's been a little while. But as you can see, very fun character, very easy to get unlocks on. You just have to actually unlock him, and don't ask me how to do it because I don't know. I had to Google it a long time ago, and you probably will as well. But if you enjoyed this video, everyone, make sure you click the like button, leave a comment down below. Today's question of the episode is going to be the question I posed to myself. Who do you prefer? Do you prefer the Tainted Forgotten or the regular Forgotten, and why? Post them in the comments down below. The top 3 most upvoted comments will be read on next week's episode. And as always, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Have a great Wednesday, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to patrons of mine like Andrew, RageGod91, and Langwart. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, then check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Sinvicta.